Hi everyone, my name's Gemma and I'm the owner of Gemma Redmond Vintage, and I'm here today to share with you some new additions to my online collection. If you'd like to find out more about any of these pieces, please don't hesitate to get in touch, and you're also welcome to make a purchase if you would like to do so too, prior to them going live on my website, which will be around sometime next week. I am working through a little bit of a backlog because it has been so busy, so some items from last week aren't quite online just yet, but they will be soon. If there's anything you're looking out for and it hasn't arrived yet and you think it might be sold, it might not be. It might just be that I may not have quite gotten around to uploading it to the website yet, so you can still get in touch with me. That's absolutely fine. So I have 8 pieces to share with you again today. There's quite a mix of time periods. We're going right through from the Georgian era through to the 1960s, 1970s, so a broad spectrum. And we've got quite a lot of blues and purples in today's mix, some really sort of calming colours. So let's get started. I'll begin by sharing with you the earrings that I'm wearing first of all. I've had them hidden beneath my hair just to give you the full impact of these beautiful, beautiful earrings. Those of you, some of you may already recognise this material if you're interested in antique costume jewellery. These earrings are in fact made from cut steel. They're made from tiny, tiny faceted steel studs which are assembled onto a steel framework to create a pattern and create a jewel. Very often they were used on things like shoe buckles and choker buckles for chokers, pendants and things like that, but we also see them used in earrings and necklaces. The earrings and necklaces are a little bit rarer to find, and they are sought after. These earrings are particularly sought after because they are for pierced ears too, which is really nice. They are an extremely wearable piece of history. They date from around circa 1800, so the early 19th century, and I'll just take them off so you can have a closer look. They are arranged in a star-like motif, and the hooks are, I feel, original. They are most likely original. They could possibly be a later replacement, but I believe these hooks are original. As you can see, the cut steel studs sparkle beautifully. I really love cut steel. It's a great example of early costume jewellery and ingenuity of creating something affordable to sparkle like diamonds. And cut steel was extremely popular because it really sparkled beautifully in the candlelight, because of course there was no electricity at the time these earrings were made. So there you can see these brilliant Georgian cut steel earrings. Next, we're coming forwards in time, and this necklace is a bit of a mashup. It's an Art Deco style piece, however I believe it dates from the 1970s rather than the Art Deco era. It's got a lovely, pretty, delicate enamelled panel detailed with a typically sort of geometric Art Deco design, and some gold gilded accents, and then 2 enamelled bars framing this pendant piece, and then a silver tone metal chain suspending the rest of the necklace. It's really delicate and lovely, and it's a really nice length, as you can see, for wearing in necklines like this too. It fastens with a bolt ring, and the chain, as you can see, is a bar chain, so it's a nice detail here. They're almost sort of like rope effects, the bars in them. And there you can see the panel with this Art Deco design. Of course, the Art Deco era was extremely popular in the 1970s. It gained a real resurgence thanks to films like Cabaret starring Liza Minnelli. Yeah, as you can see, this is a lovely deco-inspired 70s piece. Next, let's move on to a real Art Deco piece. This is a lovely example of Art Deco 1920s Egyptian revival jewellery inspired by the discovery of the tomb of Tutankhamun by Howard Carter in 1922. You can see it's got a sphinx motif on it, and then we have some hieroglyphs around the cuff, the bangle as well. It's constructed from a resin. I don't believe this is celluloid. It's got a bit more weight to it, and it's great being in this neutral black and cream colourway. It's perfect for wearing with anything. You can wear it loosely on your wrist as I'm doing here, or as it was intended to be worn further up the arm too. Next, let's move on to another Georgian piece. There's such depth of colour and interest in this simple piece. This is a bar brooch, again dating from the early 1800s, circa 1800, possibly late 1700s, and it's constructed from silver and then detailed with 4 what we term as coque de pearl, which is a little almost a shell cabochons created from the nautilus shell and used in jewellery around this period due to the way it reflects the light and has a broad spectrum of colours in it. We've got blues, pinks, greens within these cabochons. Very often the coque de pearl Georgian pieces that we see are much brighter, much whiter greys, mother of pearl, as the brooch was that I shared with you a couple of weeks ago. These are a bit darker and have a lot more depth to them, these pieces of shell. And then on the reverse we see the tube hinge, which is a great indicator of a brooch's age, and the C clasp here, and the fastening pin is lovely and strong. It's a really elegant piece, timeless because it can still be worn today. It was made in the Georgian era, so it's really, really lovely. Next, let's move on to another piece of antique jewellery. This is a gilded metal star pendant, but the special thing about it is that the star is picked out and set with micro mosaics, which are really delicate and fine. The delicacy of the micro mosaic in this piece dates it to most likely the Victorian era, so the late 1800s, and you can see that in the centre we've got this lovely pretty floral motif, and then around the outside some little floral motifs too. It's a really delicate, finely worked piece of micro mosaic jewellery, perfect for a sweet pendant, and could even be worn as a charm on a bracelet too. This piece originates in Italy and was, due to its age, most likely bought by a grand tour customer, someone who was doing the grand tour of Europe. Next, let's move on to a pair of earrings. Oh no, we'll come to those last. We'll do another brooch. This brooch was most likely made in France due to the trombone clasp on its reverse here, and the style of the beadwork. However, its maker is a little bit of a mystery. It has the feel of a Louis Rousselet piece, however sometimes it looks a bit Miriam Haskell, sometimes it looks a bit Czechoslovakian, so it's got a lot of interest to it. I believe it was made in the 1940s. We have these lovely floral motifs here made from the gilded metal, set with blue glass beads on their insides, and then we've got these fantastic faux pearl tassels here suspended from the brooch. It's really sort of typical of its time, but has a lot of interest to it in that the country it's from is a bit uncertain, and the maker it's from is a bit uncertain too. But it's a really lovely example of mid-century costume jewellery. So I'll just show it here. You can see it looks great sort of pinned to navy blue. The whites of the pearls really pop, but because of the tassels in it, it would look great pinned to the top of a button-up shirt as well, I think really well too. Next, let's move on to a certainly French piece. This is because the clasp is stamped made in France, and it's quality French beadwork. We can see here really unusual colours and styles, design styles in the beads, and the use of brass beads too here is lovely. This leads me to think that this necklace is perhaps a Louis Rousselet piece, but you can see that it's been restrung recently. I've had it repaired and restrung with the stringing as it was done originally in a two-tone, so we've got reds and creams in the stringing, and that's how it was originally strung, how I acquired it. And then these beads are fabulous here with the turquoise and purples in them, and then you can see these clear beads are swirled with a sort of lilac colour to them too. It really is a lovely example of French glass beadwork. So as you can see, it fastens with a barrel clasp. I'll just give it a twist. Barrel clasps are really easy to get on and off too, which is nice. And then you can see again that this is a great length too. Finally, let's move on to this brilliant sparkling pair of earrings. These earrings date from the 1960s, and as you can see, they're real showstoppers. They've got blue and green rhinestones in them, and then these marquise or Navette cut glass cabochons, which have an iridescent coating on them to really give them depth and look spectacular in the light here. They are clip-ons. I'll pop them in so you can see how they look worn. They're really sensational and really nicely made too. They are have a quality to them, which is really nice. So as you can see, they look very glamorous, so typical of the cocktail era, the cocktail jewellery era of the mid-century. So let's recap today's pieces. So I have these 1960s blue rhinestone earrings, this French glass bead necklace, possibly by Louis Rousselet, this 1940s faux pearl tassel brooch, these Georgian, there we go, so you can see them better, these Georgian cut steel earrings, this Georgian coque de perle brooch, this 1970s Art Deco style enamel necklace, this Egyptian Revival 1920s bangle, and this antique micro mosaic star pendant. Thanks so much for joining me again. I hope you've enjoyed this week's selection, and I'll see you all very soon. Take care. Bye bye.